YouTube, Kamen Rider here. Welcome to my review for the latest episode of Kamen Rider Gavv. We returned from a hiatus to finish a two-parter. Honestly, even though I legitimately missed Gavv, I kind of forgot we were in the middle of a two-parter. I kind of wish that we had closed it off and we were getting ready to start the next arc, because I almost forgot what was going on. And it was kind of like an, I don't want to say anticlimactic, but I guess kind of anticlimactic conclusion. Don't get me wrong, the episode was entertaining, but it was pretty straightforward, and I actually recorded my Boom Boonja review before this, despite the fact that this one's probably coming out before it. But I say something similar in that review of, I felt that Superhero Time in a way felt similar this week in the sense that both episodes were more just, they were very entertaining and very successful at entertaining you, and that felt redundant, but you know what I mean. They were very entertaining and enjoyable, but they weren't like huge move the needle forward episodes. Like there wasn't a lot going on in terms of advancing the main plot. You know, you just had the villains, like the scene we've seen almost every episode of the villains at the base being like, oh, we're plotting and we need to figure out how to beat this red Gavv. And then you do get a little bit of intrigue showing that Hanto's mysterious sciencey friend is monitoring him. And he's like, oh, he's been working without me. So you do get those, and it is nice to have those scenes because it does show you that like the main plot is moving forward in the background. But most of this was just about wrapping up the villain of the week from last week. But the episode was still really fun because the main draw of this was the dynamic between Shouma and Hanto, as they're both working this case and they both want to go like chase this lead, and they know that it'll probably lead to them having to transform, but they're hiding it from each other, and it's so funny. Like this is a dynamic I'm really enjoying. I hope they don't drag it out too long to the point where it becomes annoying, or you know, you want to just see everybody know everything so you can move things forward. But for right now, I'm really quite enjoying it, and I think it's really funny because it plays on so many tropes where obviously you have Shouma as the main writer and Valen as the secondary, but the way it feels is that they're both the protagonists of a show, you know, where you're a superhero and you're hiding your identity, but they have to do it at the same time. Because not just in Toku, I'm sure you've seen it in other superhero shows where you have the main character that has to come up with the excuse as to why they leave or they run off or whatever, and then suddenly the hero appears, and it's so funny seeing them both try to navigate that, especially when they find the villain at the school and they're trying to figure out an excuse to make so that they can transform. And then later in the episode where they both are like, oh my god, I hope my friend didn't get blown up when we were doing the big fight. That was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that a lot. Like, I'm liking that dynamic, and I think it's an interesting twist on that because you get to see both Shouma and Hanto bonding and then Valen and Gavv bonding as different parts of their personality. Like, we've seen it before where you might have them be friends as civilians, but the writers hate each other, or one writer hates the other. And I think it's kind of refreshing that both sides of their personality are getting along, and it also makes it highly entertaining. And you also have Valen admitting to Gavv, like, hey, this shady guy made these things for me, but I'm running out of chocolate, can you give me some? So that's how he gets that. I imagine that will probably be what happens from now on. I mean, maybe we'll have like the run out of web shooters moments, but I just imagine that this sets up that if you can get him from both sources, we don't have to worry about that or question it. Side note, the villain plot was pretty messed up. I mean, I know we continued from last week, but the fact that he's turning kids into the food for them is just kind of messed up, because usually you don't see, I mean, I guess sometimes you do see kids targeted by Toku plots, but usually it's more in like a silly way, like some sort of silly plot. And I know they just get turned into these little figures and they can be saved, but if something goes wrong, they'd be killed. As far as like the action and stuff, still some good action going on. We did, not, this isn't action related, but we did set up Shouma eating a donut, so we got the donut one. I think that's gonna be, I think it's like a gun. Is it a gun for something? There's something donut related that goes to Valen, I remember, but they did set up that gachizo for next week or whenever they want to use it. We basically, for the action, we just kind of show off more of the abilities for the lollipop form, which was nice and just feeds into my positive I always talk about, as I love the pacing, that instead of debuting another new form or weapon or whatever, we just continue to showcase this, so it gives it time to highlight and feel memorable and feel like it's not just being blown past. As we see like these Gatling guns on his shoulders, he briefly like summons the Gatling gun bike thing and Valen tries to wield it and it doesn't work. It was just a lot of fun. It was a big fun CGI fight, but it was kind of cool to get kind of an extended look at that, which kind of makes sense because since it's a two-parter, it makes sense that they would showcase the one that debuted in this. But still, I just want to praise that because I do appreciate that, because I think that it, again, it makes it feel like the forms are less disposable, and I imagine whether you're a kid or an adult collector, it makes you possibly more endeared to the forms if they get good screen time and they show off their cool stuff without you immediately moving on to the next one. So yeah, this was probably one of the lesser eventful episodes, but it was definitely one of the more entertaining ones, because again, I'm really liking that dynamic between Shouma and Valen. I think it's like just a lot of fun, so long as it doesn't overstay its welcome. It seems like they might have it revealed next week, but yeah, overall still enjoying the show. What did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Kamen Rider, signing out.